like I say, there's lots of things that are misunderstood, like WB Broadcasting. Actually stands. It's actually a British-owned company, and it actually stands for West Bryan. There's, like I say, they used to make up things back in the 1930s and 1920s. I forgot about that because I had changed my name to Brian, or I was becoming known as Brian because I didn't want Brian to be forgotten about. So anyway, like I said, Westinghouse basically. I mean, that was well. I mean, it was just a company. Warehouse actually was, or West Warehouse or something like that. I don't really know exactly the details of that, but everyone always said Warner Brothers. But I mean, who owns Warner Brothers? What is Warner Brothers Film Studio? Who managed Warner Brothers Studio? Who built Warner Brothers Studio? And actually, and whose land was Warner Brothers Studio Film Studio on? Is it even called Warner Brothers Film Studio, or is it actually something like West Bryan? Who owns anything around here? What does WB Broadcasting stand for? Well, it stands for West Bryan, I believe, if I remember right. I don't really know exactly the details of that. Like I said, it's basically this first star. It's my company. It was my company. Hey, whatever. Um, like I said, films or whatever. I had my own naming system. Anyway, though, I mean, Zachary or Bill Gates, he had his own thing. And, I mean, like who did Ultima Online? Why was Ultima Online built? Who wanted Ultima Online to be built? Who gave up the money to hire the programmers? How were the programmers paid? Well, they weren't paid that much actually, and top ramen, supposedly, but I don't really know. I mean, there's all these things. I mean, that most people, you don't know, you didn't know. I mean, you go to the theaters, you see the movie, movies are made, and stuff like that is done, but you don't know why or who owned all the cameras, who gave the cameras out to people. Is there anything you actually know? That's why a lot of people were going around asking people questions like, "What do you know about the world? Do you know anything about anything? What does WB stand for? What does what does LS stand for? Who is Lucifer Starr? Who's Bill Gates? Who's Trump?" So many people in this world actually had no idea about anything other than what they read in the newspaper or what they saw on TV. What is the the SR-71 Blackbird? Who built it? Who broke the sound barrier? Who broke the sound barrier first? Who who did what? There's Jeopardy, of course, and by the way, also some things about Jeopardy is some of the answers are actually made up. Nobody would get that because it's not real. It's an impossible question for which there is no answer to. So you're not supposed to get that one, right? Anyway, there's all kinds of things like that that nobody really realized about the broadcasting studios and stuff like that. To stop, because I mean, lots of people knew lots of things about the world. So how to ask a question for which there's no answer and all that other stuff. Anyway, it came out eventually that some of these broadcast shows basically pretty much were in fact even manufacturing information or manufacturing questions, and stuff like that. I've never really watched Jeopardy or paid much attention to it, but there were people who actually did watch it and actually sit down to see the episodes of Jeopardy and all that other stuff. And basically, some of the stuff actually they did try, I think, but some of the stuff is just manufactured. Anyway, there's lots of stuff about this world that many children would be like, "What? Huh?" It's like you read it in a book in school. Wow. Who started the public education system? Why was the public education done? So basically, a bunch of about 7 million people are wandering around this planet and have no idea of anything. Who was JFK? Who was Nixon? Who is Donald Trump? Who is Bill Gates? Who is Ronald Reagan? Who's Michael Jackson? Who is Madonna? Do you know? How many Madonnas were there? Was there one or more than one? Nobody can answer any of these questions. Well, there were 2 or 3. How many queens of England have there been? Who invented the meter system for America? Who wanted the meter system to be done? What is coax cable or cable TV? Where did the coax cable, the copper that makes up the coax cable network come from? Did we always just have TV? Were telephone systems always a small cable? Or is it actually, in fact, that the cable TV is actually the old phone system? What was Bell Company, telephone company? Did it even exist? What is General Electric? What products did they build? Who wanted mass distribution networks like the? I mean, who wanted the first stores? Where were the first stores done? Anyway, 7 million people, and you have no idea about anything, other than what maybe the president says on TV, or something like that, or what you read in a book, or what somebody else tells you. Where are we in the galaxy? How many years have passed? In general. In space, how many years have passed? About particle decay is its only way of knowing. And I'll tell you, it's been 100 trillion years. How long have we been out here? Where is out here anyway? Have there ever been spaceships before? Fact of the matter is that you know almost next to nothing about anything. Other than maybe Jeopardy. Maybe you go to a museum and you see some stuff in a museum. Maybe you travel around. Like I said, who was the child ruler of China? Other than a picture of some guy with glasses and a hat. That was actually he was actually the secretary for England, basically. And he was a Chinese guy. I was actually the child emperor of China for a while. Not exactly. They manufactured had somebody else doing it. Anyway, still, he wasn't a bad ruler. They educated him and stuff like that, and basically taught him how to rule. And he didn't do a bad job, I don't think. Not exactly sure. Anyway, whatever. Why are there stars on our flag? Is it just star, or was there a Lucifer in front of it, or what? Did we always have a square star pattern on our flag? Well, actually, it was round ones, and I had stars in a circle, same as the UN. So anyway, I don't really care. For years and millennia, Rodney Briley and a bunch of other people were trying to do some sort of stupid perception rails, calling me crazy, or something else like that. I just told them I don't really care. Anyway, you get to find out and deal with it. Like, did you evolve, or were you genetically created? When was the first genetic experiment? How long has the church been around? You're gonna read what somebody writes on a chat board? Is that your source of information? That might be a 6-year-old child or an 82-year-old grandmother or somebody in prison. Literally. Or it might be your mom. Or somebody else. Anyway, the truth is that nobody knows anything about anything.